This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Erica, my girl.
Hey.
How you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing really good, Erica. Thank you. My lipstick matches your dress.
Good. Well, you know, we always clicking over here.
I know your necklace matches my dress. We've got a special show for you today.
Today we're taking a look back at some of the biggest transformations we've seen on the show.
That's right. First up, we have to talk about the time I tried to conquer my biggest fear. Oh,
Now,
yes.
Sam, I remember you tried to conquer this fear of being inside of a coffin, which as a mortician's daughter, I found insane, but you did it. Let's watch.
Sam, tell me a little bit more about your fear.
Okay, so I'm claustrophobic, and just thinking about it, I mean, my hands, you can tell that like I'm shaking. Just thinking about it, that I'm going to have to face this fear. You can hear it in my voice, makes me really nervous.
I can tell.
You could see my heart's like literally beating through my chest. I have those morbid thoughts where I'm like, what if I were to ever to be buried alive somehow and being stuck in like a coffin and like not being able to get out? That haunts me at night.
You have to ask yourself, why am I facing this fear in the first place?
As a mother, I don't ever want to feel out of control for Sophie.
We're here to give you some armor, if you will, so that when you go into this, you got what you need
So
to
what do I
tolerate
do?
it.
Tell me what to do.
Just find a place in your body and just tap back and forth, just about at the rate of walking, okay? This is only just about getting a grounding exercise in. The idea is that when you stimulate the brain in a back and forth fashion like this, the body starts to induce some calming effects. And also, the idea
almost
is
took
that
my
grounds
mind
you.
off of it, too.
That's right.
Like by
That's
doing
right.
this, I started
Yeah.
focusing on my
tapping.
thighs and
That's
the
right.
tapping and not. Now, there's something else that calms me. A leaf calms me. Whenever I'm nervous or when it grounds me.
I imagine that there's no reason why you couldn't take that in there with you. I would like for you to get some good rest because tomorrow we're gonna have a really good experience trying to face this fear, okay?
Okay, we can
All
do
right.
it. All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep, thank you. I can open my eyes. Oh my God, you guys, this is horrific. I'm glad I'm appropriately dressed in black.
Okay.
That box is tiny, you guys. It's tiny, Joey.
Remember, this gets to be on your terms. We're gonna be right here with you the whole time.
I'm shaking.
You're in control. That's the part that your brain's gonna tell you is going on, is I'm out of control, I'm trapped. Fact of the matter is, I'm gonna be literally inches away from you.
And then how long am I in the box for?
So the goal is for 5 minutes.
It's a long time. All right, I'm shaking. Can you feel me shaking?
And anytime you say stop, we're done. Okay?
Okay, let's do it. Let's do this.
So your 5 minutes begins right now. All right, Sam, so I'm right here. Okay? My hand is right over here, right next to your face. Okay? How are we doing right now? Sam, we all right?
Yeah, I just need to be in silence. I'm not going to answer you, Joey, if that's okay.
Fair enough. Here. Minute and a half, Sam. Doing really good here. All right. Sam, you're doing wonderful. That's 3 minutes. "15 seconds, Sam. This is your victory lap. You crushed it for Sophie!
Oh my God!
How about that, huh?
It's crazy. If I can now implement what I learned today by teaching that to Sophie, I'm happy that I get to be the teacher in that scenario. Yay! I'm so excited! I really am. I wouldn't do it again, though. I don't think I conquered my fear. I did it, but I wouldn't do it again. No.
Well, conquering your fear is just knowing that you can.
Could you do it as a mortician's daughter?
I was never allowed. I was always trying to get in the casket. My dad was like,
What?
"You can't get in the casket." There was a brand new casket.
Why'd you want to get in a casket?
Because
It's
I
like
want to play hide and go seek and stuff. Like, I mean, you know, when you're little, you run around
That's
a funeral
true.
home.
Gosh, Erica, scary. Well, now it's Jeff's turn. Let's throw it back to the time when he conquered his biggest fear, stand-up comedy.
Now, this was one of my favorite Face Your Fear pieces that we did because I didn't stop laughing. Let's check it out.
What scares you about stand-up?
I think just the vulnerability of it. There is no one to point the finger at, which kind of excites me, but kind of is like, hey, it's all me. So if I bomb, there's no one else to blame.
All right, Jeff, so I gotta know, how has this fear of stand-up like affected your life? I know it's not like ruined it, but like, how does it affect your life?
You know, I think I'm at that age where I've always wanted to conquer some of my past goals.
Right.
You know, so I think, what do I have to lose? You're just
Right.
going up there. If somebody laughs at you, they laugh at you.
All right, so Jeff, let's get right to it. You need a point of view for people to really be able to identify with you. So what's Jeff's point of view?
Well, now that we were talking, I think I'm gonna go with the honesty route.
Next time I see you, it'll be at the comedy.
All right, man, I appreciate that.
Dude, you got this, man.
I hope I don't fail you,
I
buddy.
couldn't be more confident. You've already won.
What's up, Thursday night? How y'all doing?
Doing right.
A little mild, but I like that. You look cold. I appreciate it.
Honestly, I can't wait to talk to this camera again when I'm standing right back here after I do this because it'll feel like a weight's lifted off my shoulders.
I have a cool job. I work with a bunch of millennials. I dig it. Yeah, all my old friends, I'm 41, all my friends like, how do you do that? You work with millennials. Like, I don't get that generation. Complain about everything. They complain. I'm like, I love it. Voodoo Playhouse Lounge, you guys ready? That's what I like to hear. This is this guy's first time ever doing stand-up. Give it up for Jeff Schroeder, everybody.
My man.
Love you, boy.
Thank you, buddy. Guys, my name is Jeff. Thank you so much for taking the time. Let me do my thing here. It's one of my fear factors, I could say, but you know, I'm 40 years old. I'm married now. I have 2 kids. It's crazy to say that you're 40. You know, a lot of things change when you're 40 years old. You look at the world through a different lens. You know, you're not that old guy that could just get away with anything, you know, so you're not that guy yet, but you're not that 20-year-old smart mouth kid that could get away with anything. And the last thing you want to be is that 40-year-old smarting off to that 20-year-old and getting your ass kicked in front of your wife and kids. You don't want that. You know what I mean? The best thing I love in my life is my family. I love my family. I have a 2.5-year-old boy. I have a 5-month-old child. And I love traveling. And the worst thing in my life is that I have to travel with them. That's the worst thing that I have to do. So recently I just went back to Chicago. I'm going to get right into it. And I went to the airport, and it's the worst going to the airport with children. Does anybody have children? Okay, geez, Louise. You gotta pack all these bags, you gotta check all this stuff. It's the worst, trust me, it's the worst. And when your child turns 2, you have to pay full price airfare for that seat. So I paid $450 for a 25-pound carry-on, which I wish I could have got one of those fake letters from one of those fake doctors and charged him as an emotional support kid and just put him like under my seat. I could have saved $450 right there, you know? That's it, guys. Thank you so much for letting me face my fears. I appreciate it. Thanks for the laughs. Thank you, thank you. Was that all right? Dude, it's tough.
That takes courage. Coming up on DBL, we take a look back at Erica's hair journey and reveal the incredible moment when she went natural live on air. Stay tuned.
Hey DBL Nation, I'm Stephanie and I'm the host on the show that brings a bit of British sass, humour and pretty much annoyance to everyone else to the show. Who can name all of Brandon's exes?
Oh, wow!
It can go either way, you either love me or hate me, I'm like Marmite. Yes. I'm from England, you might be able to tell from my very strange accent. I love fashion. I am the person that you'll go to for celebrity gossip. I am a big gossiper and I love spilling all the information with you guys. It's my favourite thing to do. If this is my sister's best friend, are you kidding me? I'm looking forward to joining the panel full time with Erica, Brandon and Jeff. They're my favourite people ever and I'm more than ready to be seeing so much more of you guys.
especially with this show, like how transparent we're able to be. I think it's the juxtaposition between the look of the show, like we look more newsy, but we can speak more point of view. And generally, when you have a point of view show, it trends a little bit more pop looking than news based. But we are owned by a news organization, which is another strange juxtaposition. A lot of things lined up to make Daily Blast Live happen that have never lined up before, and that's the reason why you're starting to see other versions of shows like us on digital formats, and that this is going to be something that truly thrives. But I think us being owned by a news station or a news group, Tegna, but being able to do what the other panel shows have been able to do, but in a more 360 format has been a big strength for us. And then you guys chiming in, telling us your ideas in real time has also bolstered what we're saying here. So thank you for being a part of this social experiment that's now thriving. Hey.
Okay, this is one of my highlights here on DBL, Erica. So welcome back. We are looking back at some of our favorite moments from the show. There hasn't been a bigger transformation than when Erica revealed her natural hair.
Well, it's something I had been dreaming of doing for a long time. So take a look.
So growing up, I loved watching television, but there were so few representations of me and what I looked like. Hair can be so personal, especially in the Black community. And we're told, you know, you need to straighten your hair. You need your hair to look a certain way to be presentable. And what I found the most freeing thing in the past few years about my hair is that I feel presentable and respectable no matter what my hair looks like. So I talk a lot about hair, and my husband hears it all. And one day we were talking about the possibility of having children, and he asked me, well, Erica, if we had a little girl and your hair is covered, are you going to tell her that her hair is beautiful, but you cover yours? How will you explain that to her? And that was the first time that I had ever even considered that I would want my child to at least know that mommy loves herself and loves herself organically and authentically to who I am. When my mother was diagnosed with cancer and underwent chemotherapy and lost her hair, I think that was the first time that I really thought, like, wow, like, she is not her hair. And it made me think of hair as more of an accessory because I saw my mother kind of become more of who she truly was, completely uncovered. So there was a moment on Daily Blast Live where we were talking about Viola Davis.
I got tired of always celebrating movies that didn't have me in it. I don't mean me, Viola, I mean me as a Black woman. Stop taming us.
And that stuck with me so much because I remember watching her on How to Get Away with Murder when she took her wig off. And I was like, wow, like it was the most powerful thing to see that transformation. But what she was really saying was that this is naturally who I am, and this is who Black women are. And so ultimately, I want little Black girls who are trying to figure out who they are in this world to understand that they don't have to wear their hair in a certain way to be respected and considered professional. So in an age where everyone is touting that representation matters, I want to be a part of the change that I want to see in media today.
All right, you do not want to miss Erica's on-air hair reveal. It's one of my favorite memories. Don't go away. That's when DBL returns.
My name is Erica Cobb. My hair is 100% authentically me, and so are my opinions. I am from Chicago, Illinois, and that's where my career started. My role on the panel is the voice of reason.
if sometimes you want to be questionably unreasonable.
It's part of growing up.
Get him, girl.
And this is part of it.
growing up, Al, is part of growing up. It's super disrespectful.
Revealing my natural hair on live TV was one of the most liberating things I've ever done. Let me tell you, I would have been in the salon a long time ago if I knew it got a standing ovation. And as a result, I know that that's affected a lot of other women who want to be their most authentic self, and I carry that with me every day. DBL is unapologetic. DBL is organic. DBL is fearless. DBL is you.
Hi, I am Tori Schulman, and I am DBL's legal eagle. So I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., not Virginia, not Maryland, Washington, D.C. What's coming up in DBL that's very exciting is some strong conversations and some sparks are gonna fly. The co-host that makes me laugh the most is Al, because he's funny, and then also Jeff, because he's so sad. That's you're sleeping. Anywho, I'm really looking forward to Lindsay joining the show because she's gonna bring my game up, keep me on my toes, but also get a little taste of the Schulmanator. Instead of saying, he's wrong, he's not. We saw the percentages. I'm always interested in what you, the viewer, has to say. And I'm not scared to debate you because sometimes you win.
Before the break, we showed you Erica's on-air hair reveal. Erica, this was a big moment for you, and we all got to be a part of her comeback journey.
Right, Sam. I mean, it's been almost 3 years in the making.
What?
So, yeah, 3 years in the making.
Wow.
Since the big chop. Take a look.
Talk to us about your hair journey.
So almost 3 years ago, I decided to cut off all my hair. It's called the big chop. A lot of black women are familiar with that. For me, it was bigger than that because it was a part of my comeback journey. It was kind of my aesthetic look or a measurement of how far I had come. So when I cut off all my hair, it was right after my divorce, unemployment, bankruptcy, and I was restarting my life, and a part of that was cutting out the old and starting with the new. So this has been almost 3 years coming.
Wow. And are you going to continue to speak on this?
Yes,
Amen.
absolutely. Absolutely. Stay tuned.
Erica, tell me about that moment.
You know, it's crazy because I feel like there's been so many different firsts in this. And I really look back on all of that. Like when I see old videos and stuff, I'm like, who's that girl? Because it's like a new form of who I have become. And I've just really enjoyed the journey. I've enjoyed being uncomfortable.
Love that. And we are so lucky, myself included, to have been on that journey with you.
I appreciate you.
Coming up on DBL, we'll take a look at how Erica went to the Colorado State Capitol to help pass legislation, you guys, against hair discrimination. Yeah, our Erica Cobb is an activist. You don't want to miss it.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Hey DBL Nation, my name is Jeff Schroeder and I'm the host that's going to bring honesty to the panel. I think something most people might not know about me is that I actually met my wife on a reality show and we've been together for 10 years and have 2 children now. What makes me different from the other hosts is I'll always try to see the other side. No matter what side I'm on, I want the audience to know that there is another side to the conversation and that I'm listening. The co-host that irritates me easily, Tori Schulman.
Was that the lamest thing I've ever done?
I wanted to, yeah.
Sadly, no. What makes Daily Blast Live different from other shows is that we bring honest opinions in all different walks of life. DBL is real, DBL is raw, DBL is honest.
I am Patti Donnelly, and I am the senior supervising producer at Daily Blast Live. I manage the show and the staff, and I oversee creative and help pick the stories. You know, and I also help by just using my past experience to better produce pieces and content on the show. A typical day at DBL for me starts at 6:30 in the morning, and that is super early. So it generally starts with me hitting snooze 4 times and then going to Starbucks and then rolling in at 6:30 on the dot. whew, it's hard. And in the morning when we come in is my first meeting of the day. It's at 6:30 and it's the creative content meeting, and it's with just 4 other producers and then Chris Clark, the executive producer of the show, and myself. And basically we hear what stories are going on, what has been happening overnight, what the news is, and we start planning the show and what we're gonna put in it and what stories we care about. It's actually my favorite time of the day. It's really fun and it's my favorite thing ever, which kind of sucks that it's like in the morning, because after that then there's nothing to look forward to, but I love that meeting. Since it's such a small group, we laugh a lot and tell a lot of jokes, and just come up with some really great ideas because of it, and it's really awesome. What I like best about working at DBL as opposed to other shows is that we have a really cool culture here, and it is a lot different from when I worked in LA, meaning we put the show above, you know, we care about the show, we want the show to do well, but we don't put it above ourselves. And that's something that a lot of times in LA you sacrifice a lot to make sure the show is awesome. And here we, I think, almost have our priorities in balance a little more, and we laugh a little bit more because of it.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier this year, Erica went to the Colorado State Capitol, fought for others to be able to wear their hair naturally at work too.
Well, I mean, it was a blessing to me to be able to do that. It's called the Crown Act, and it stops employers from being able to discriminate against people for how they wear their hair. Now, I worked with state representatives to help get the Crown Act passed. Take a look.
A special celebration marked the historic finale of the Crown Act journey in Colorado.
And it's a long time coming.
The legislation got national attention earlier this year when Matthew A. Cherry won an Academy Award for the animated short film Hair Love.
We wanted to normalize black hair. There's a very important issue that's out there. It's the Crown Act. And if we can help to get this passed in all 50 states.
More and more states are joining the movement to create a respectful and open world for natural hair, with Senator Rhonda Fields, Representative Leslie Herod, and Representative Janet Buckner getting the job done in Colorado.
No one should be discriminated against because of how their hair grows out of their scalp. Yes.
I was honored to go along for the ride, sharing my personal testimony.
Once I took all of the unveiling off, that I just had to sit with me, and I needed to be enough. And it turns out I was more than enough.
Let's continue to work together to create a more inclusive future in the workplace, schools, and beyond in all 50 states. Because everyone deserves to feel proud of their culture and the beautiful crown they were given.
Joining us now are Representative Leslie Herod and Representative Janet Buckner. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. I want to talk about the Crown Act, and can you explain to our viewers what the Crown Act is?
Well, the Crown Act will ban discrimination based on hairstyles, ethnic discrimination on hairstyles throughout Colorado. So that's in employment, in schools, places of public accommodations, and even housing, because it's happening. Discrimination is happening at all of those levels. And so with one fell swoop, we were able to ban that type of discrimination right here in Colorado.
And I want to play a clip of a little girl that's gone viral, right? She was reacting, getting her hair done. It's heartbreaking, but it does speak volumes to what kind of we go through and little girls go through. And then you guys can speak to that afterwards.
Sounds good.
I'm so ugly.
What? Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. You are so pretty. You are too cute. Oh. Oh. No, you gonna make me cry. You're not ugly.
Since
Since that video made the rounds online, Academy Award-winning producer of Hair Love, Matthew A. Cherry, asked artists to submit drawings of the little girl to let her know that she's beautiful. I want to know how the Crown Act now empowers little girls that have seen that. I know I watched it and was following his Instagram all weekend, seeing these beautiful drawings, but what do you guys feel?
Well, the Crown Act is really special, and it's going to help my children and my grandchildren and all grandchildren to have more confidence in their look, their hair, whether they're in the classroom or the boardroom. It is so important.
What was the issue when people said they were opposed to it? Did they have any valid reasons?
Well, I think initially folks might have thought they could come through communities of color and say, well, does this help Jewish women? What about curly hair? Or what about young Native and indigenous men with long hair? And we said this applies to all folks. And for me, it was really important because I'm a member of the LGBT community as well. And so we're talking about gender non-binary. We're talking about everybody. But the opposition came, and it's rooted in racism and discrimination, whether it's conscious or unconscious. This is happening because people are using hair as a proxy for race. And they say, you know, you don't look professional enough. You don't look like you're ready for prime time. Did you try this morning? All of these things that we got, that we heard from people who testified, that's really where the opposition came from. We also had people say, like, what about safety and health code? And the great thing about this bill was that businesses from across Colorado, labor unions, you know, folks in the food industry said, this is not really an issue. We can get a hairnet, we can cover things up as necessary. The real issue comes from that bias and that discrimination that we need to eradicate here in Colorado.
For our viewers, how can they learn more about the Crown Act and how they can get involved with having it passed in their state?
Yeah, well, Colorado's proud to be the fifth state, right? But there's over 20, I think 25 states right now that are still debating the Crown Act.
Right.
So go to thecrownact.com and figure out what your state is doing. Share your personal stories because they actually change votes, you know? They change the hearts and minds of people like me, legislators. So go on to, again, crownact.com and learn how you can help.
One thing I heard you guys say is that, you know, on Friday is that you don't know how this affects you and you can't see this will still be an issue, but it really is, especially for working women down to kids. So thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you, Erica.
What would young Erica think if she knew this was going to be her one day?
I don't know. I think that young Erica was really fearless. Like, I don't even have that type of fearlessness in me. So she might have been
about? Are you crazy? You're one of the most fearless people I know.
I do what I know is right in my heart because I want to sleep at night. And so if being my most authentic self is the way that I sleep at night, that's what I go with. But I don't think about it in terms of like, be fearless, you know?
Oh, Erica, you are fearless though. But I love that it comes from a place of authenticity. DBL is always on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be right back.